In a world brimming with challenges, where each day seems to deliver its own dose of stress and uncertainty, can we truly achieve a state where our inner peace remains untouchable? Imagine navigating life with unwavering calm and composure, regardless of the obstacles you encounter. This isn't about withdrawing from life or being indifferent to its richness. It's about cultivating inner strength, a resilience so profound that nothing life throws your way can shake it. Stoic philosophy, rooted in wisdom over 2,000 years old, offers a timeless guide for this journey. Far from being abstract or outdated, its principles provide a practical framework for living with purpose, clarity, and serenity in today's complex world. Stoicism invites us to ponder transformative questions. What if your sense of peace was not determined by external events? What if your strength lay not in changing your circumstances, but in mastering your responses to them? By adopting Stoic teachings, we learn to harness the power of our thoughts, uncover clarity amid life's chaos, and cultivate an enduring inner calm that radiates outward. The path to this unshakable serenity is illuminated by 10 enduring principles, each designed to strengthen your foundation of resilience and self-mastery. 1. Prioritize rationality over emotion. When life throws challenges your way, it's natural to let emotions take over. Frustration, anger, or anxiety can cloud judgment and lead to impulsive reactions. However, Stoicism teaches us to anchor ourselves in rationality, a stable foundation that keeps us calm amidst chaos. Rationality allows us to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully instead of being swept away by fleeting emotions. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "The wise man builds his house on the rock of reason." Just as a house on a strong foundation withstands storms, a life guided by reason remains steady in times of turmoil. Imagine a colleague criticizes your work. An emotional response might lead to defensiveness or anger, escalating the situation. Instead, a rational approach asks, "Is there truth in this feedback? Can I use this to improve?" By choosing reason, you turn potential conflict into growth. Prioritizing rationality doesn't mean ignoring emotions, but understanding them. Pause, take a breath, and reflect. Ask yourself, will reacting emotionally solve this problem? Or is a calm, reasoned response better? With practice, this approach becomes second nature, leading to clarity in decisions, stronger relationships, and lasting inner peace. By making rationality your guide, you transform challenges into opportunities, creating a life of resilience and stability. 2. Avoid self-created suffering. A significant portion of our suffering doesn't come from external events, but from how we interpret them. The Stoics remind us that our perceptions, not the events themselves, determine whether we experience peace or distress. Marcus Aurelius aptly said, "You have power over your mind, not external events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This powerful insight emphasizes that our thoughts, not circumstances, are the true source of our emotional pain. Consider a common scenario. You're stuck in traffic and running late. The situation itself is neutral. It's simply a delay. But your mind might turn it into a source of stress by imagining the consequences of being late, amplifying frustration, or focusing on how unfair the situation feels. Stoicism teaches us to pause and ask, "Is this worth my peace?" Worrying won't clear the road or make time move faster. Instead, you can choose to accept the delay, let go of unnecessary frustration, and focus on what you can control, such as how you use the waiting time. This principle applies to everyday annoyances, like a thoughtless comment or a minor inconvenience. Often, we let such events spiral into larger issues by overthinking or magnifying their importance. Stoicism encourages us to challenge our perceptions. Ask yourself, am I making this problem bigger than it needs to be? By shifting your perspective, you reclaim control over your emotions and prevent small irritations from ruining your day. Avoiding self-created suffering doesn't mean suppressing emotions. It's about recognizing when your reactions are disproportionate to the situation. With practice, you'll find that many sources of frustration exist only in your mind, and by releasing them, you create room for clarity and peace. This ability to let go of unnecessary distress is one of the greatest freedoms Stoicism offers. 3. Cultivate inner peace. True peace doesn't come from avoiding life's challenges or escaping the chaos of the world. Instead, it's about building an inner sanctuary, a place of calm and resilience within yourself. Like the still, undisturbed depths of a lake during a storm, inner peace is unshaken by the turbulence around it. This tranquility is achieved by focusing on what you can control and releasing what lies beyond your influence. Epicurus captured this wisdom perfectly. Freedom is achieved by disregarding what lies beyond our control. This means letting go of the anxiety caused by uncontrollable events, other people's actions, unforeseen circumstances, or the outcomes of our efforts, instead of wasting energy trying to change the unchangeable. Stoicism teaches us to redirect our focus to our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, the areas where we hold real power. Imagine facing a stressful situation, like a disagreement with a colleague or a sudden personal setback. The immediate impulse might be to react emotionally, fueled by frustration or fear. But Stoicism invites you to pause and ask, what can I influence here? You may not be able to control the situation itself, but you can control how you respond. By choosing a calm and thoughtful approach, you maintain your peace even when external circumstances are difficult. Cultivating inner peace also means embracing the present moment. So much of our stress stems from reliving the past or worrying about the future. Stoicism encourages us to anchor ourselves in the now, the only moment where we truly have control. Have you ever noticed how much lighter you feel when you stop dwelling on what might happen or what already has? Building inner peace takes practice. Daily habits like mindfulness, meditation, and reflection can help. For instance, dedicating a few minutes each day to quiet contemplation or focused breathing allows you to center yourself and clear away mental clutter. Over time, these practices become tools for remaining steady, even in life's storms. Inner peace is not a state you achieve once and for all. It's a practice, a way of living that requires conscious effort. But as you cultivate this calm sanctuary within, you'll discover a profound strength, the ability to remain unshaken by the world's chaos, grounded in clarity and resilience. This is the essence of true freedom, the kind that no external force can take away. 4. Practice daily reflection. Every day presents a new chance to grow, learn, and improve. Practicing daily reflection allows us to step back and evaluate our actions, thoughts, and reactions, offering invaluable insights into our behavior. This process isn't about self-criticism, but about cultivating awareness, seeing where we succeeded, where we stumbled, and how we can do better tomorrow. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea beautifully when he wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." By reflecting on our experiences, we take ownership of our choices, shaping a wiser, calmer, and more intentional self. Just as a painter carefully selects colors to create a masterpiece, we shape our character through thoughtful examination of our daily lives. Reflection can be as simple as asking yourself a few key questions at the end of the day. What did I do well today? Where could I have responded with more patience or understanding? Did I act in alignment with my values? Consider keeping a journal where you jot down your reflections in a few sentences. For example, note a moment when you stayed calm under pressure or a situation where your emotions got the better of you. Over time, patterns will emerge, helping you understand your triggers and strengths more clearly. Daily reflection also helps us reconnect with our values and aspirations. It ensures that we're not simply drifting through life, but actively steering toward the person we wish to become. This practice transforms each day into an opportunity for self-improvement and a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and resilience. Moreover, reflection isn't just for addressing mistakes. It's equally important to acknowledge and celebrate small victories. Perhaps you showed kindness in a difficult situation, listened attentively to someone in need, or resisted the urge to react impulsively. Recognizing these moments reinforces positive behavior, building confidence and inner peace. By committing to daily reflection, we make our thoughts and actions more intentional. We create space for growth and develop the clarity needed to approach challenges with patience and perspective. This simple but powerful habit helps us refine our character, one day at a time, guiding us toward a life of purpose, wisdom, and tranquility. 5. Embrace impermanence. Change is an undeniable part of life. Everything around us is in a constant state of flux. The Stoics teach us not to resist this truth, but to embrace it, seeing impermanence not as a source of fear, but as a reminder to live fully in the present. By accepting the transient nature of all things, we can free ourselves from unnecessary suffering and find a deeper appreciation for the beauty of each moment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." This wisdom encourages us to let go of our attachments to things, people, and circumstances that are bound to evolve. Clinging to what cannot last only deepens our pain when change inevitably occurs. Instead, by recognizing impermanence as natural, we can approach life with gratitude and adaptability. Consider relationships, careers, or even periods of happiness. These are all fleeting, yet they enrich our lives while they last. When we stop fearing their end, we can fully enjoy them in the moment. For instance, instead of worrying about when a cherished experience might fade, focus on savoring it while it's here. The same applies to challenges. Just as joyful times are temporary, so too are difficulties. This perspective helps us endure hardships with patience, knowing that this too shall pass. Embracing impermanence also applies to how we view ourselves. Who we are today is not who we were a year ago, and it's not who we'll be in the future. Growth and change are natural aspects of life. By allowing ourselves to evolve, we create space for personal transformation and self-compassion. Imagine holding sand in your hand. If you grasp it tightly, it slips through your fingers faster. But if you hold it gently, you can enjoy its presence for longer. Life works much the same way. When we cling to the past or try to control the future, we lose the ability to fully experience the present. The Stoics invite us to see change as an opportunity rather than a threat. When something ends, a job, a relationship, or a phase of life, it creates space for something new. By trusting this natural flow, we open ourselves to growth and resilience. Ask yourself, can I appreciate the fleeting nature of life instead of resisting it? Can I find beauty in the moment without worrying about its end? When we learn to embrace impermanence, we gain freedom, gratitude, and a sense of peace that allows us to navigate life's ever-changing currents with grace. 6. Master the art of letting go. Letting go is one of the most liberating practices in life, but it is often misunderstood. It's not about apathy or indifference, rather. It's about releasing the emotional weight we place on things that are beyond our control. The Stoics teach us that much of our suffering stems not from events themselves, but from our attachments to specific outcomes, relationships, or material possessions. By learning to let go, we make room for growth, healing, and new opportunities. When we cling to what is impermanent or outside our influence, we become stuck. Whether it's a past mistake, a failed relationship, or an unfulfilled expectation, holding on to these things ties us emotionally to a state of frustration, regret, or longing. Stoicism invites us to ask a simple yet profound question. Is this within my control? If the answer is no, letting go becomes not just an option, but a necessity for inner peace. Imagine a relationship that has ended. The memories, shared experiences, and visions of a future that will never come to pass can weigh heavily on your mind. Clinging to these can trap you in sadness and prevent you from moving forward. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or devaluing what was. It means accepting its end, appreciating what it brought to your life, and creating space for new relationships or experiences to flourish. Letting go also applies to expectations. We often set goals with specific outcomes in mind, but when life takes an unexpected turn, we may feel disappointed or frustrated. Stoicism encourages us to focus on the process, doing our best with what we can control, and releasing attachment to the results. This shift in perspective helps us approach challenges with resilience and prevents unnecessary suffering when things don't go as planned. The art of letting go requires trust, whether it's trust in the natural flow of life, in a higher power, or simply in your ability to adapt. This trust allows you to release the illusion of control. As Marcus Aurelius said, accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together. But do so with all your heart. Practicing letting go begins with small steps. Start by identifying an area in your life where you're holding on too tightly, perhaps an old grievance, a fear of change, or a desire for approval. Ask yourself, is this serving my well-being, or is it keeping me stuck? Then, take an intentional step toward release. This could mean forgiving someone, shifting your focus, or simply choosing not to dwell on what you can't change. When we master the art of letting go, we discover a newfound lightness. We stop wasting energy on the unchangeable and instead channel it into growth, joy, and meaningful pursuits. Letting go isn't about losing. It's about gaining freedom. Freedom to live fully in the present and embrace whatever comes next with an open heart and mind. 7. Avoid imaginary pains. Epictetus famously said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." These words remind us of a truth we often overlook. Much of our anxiety, fear, and distress is not caused by real events, but by scenarios we create in our minds. When we let our imagination dwell on worst-case outcomes or hypothetical problems, we burden ourselves unnecessarily and rob the present moment of its peace. How often do we worry about things that never actually happen? A looming meeting, an exam, or a difficult conversation can spark endless loops of negative thoughts. What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? Yet when the moment arrives, it is rarely as bad as we imagined. By projecting fears into the future, we exhaust ourselves emotionally over challenges that may never come to pass. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what is real and present. When fears or worries arise, ask yourself, is this happening now, or is it just a thought? This simple question breaks the cycle of anxiety and brings your attention back to the present moment, where you have the power to act. Consider the example of a farmer worrying about drought or pests. His constant fretting does nothing to protect his crops or ensure a good harvest. Instead, his worry drains his energy and makes the task of farming feel even heavier. The Stoic approach would be to prepare rationally for risks within his control, such as watering the crops or safeguarding them against pests, and letting go of what he cannot influence, like the weather. Imaginary pains also manifest in how we interpret others' actions. A passing comment or a delayed reply might trigger assumptions of judgment or rejection, creating unnecessary tension. Stoicism encourages us to pause and consider, am I reacting to a real problem or to a story I've invented? By grounding ourselves in facts rather than assumptions, we avoid the spiral of unnecessary suffering. Avoiding imaginary pains doesn't mean ignoring genuine risks or challenges. Instead, it involves distinguishing between what is real and what is a product of our imagination. Preparation and caution are valuable, but they should not lead to excessive worry. If a concern arises, address it with rational action where possible, and release it if it lies beyond your control. The freedom gained from this practice is profound. By staying rooted in reality, you reclaim mental clarity and emotional energy. You stop carrying the weight of what-ifs and focus instead on the tangible steps you can take to improve your life. This clarity not only reduces anxiety, but also helps you approach real challenges with greater composure and effectiveness. As you move forward, practice observing your thoughts. When worry creeps in, pause and ask yourself, is this an imagined fear? Or is it something I can address? By avoiding imaginary pains, you cultivate a life grounded in peace, resilience, and rationality, free from the unnecessary burdens of the mind. 8. Stop magnifying minor troubles. Life is filled with small annoyances, a spilled drink, a missed call, a long line at the store. While these inconveniences are unavoidable, they don't deserve the power to disrupt your peace. Yet, all too often, we let these trivial issues snowball into larger sources of frustration, stealing our focus and energy. Stoicism offers a powerful reminder. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When minor troubles arise, our initial emotional response often amplifies their significance. A traffic jam, for instance, might make us feel angry or anxious, not because of the traffic itself, but because of how we perceive it. This always happens to me, or I'm going to be late. And it's ruined everything. Stoicism encourages us to pause and ask, does reacting this way improve the situation? The answer is almost always no. Instead of letting small inconveniences control your mood, practice reframing them. If a slow cashier delays your schedule, remind yourself that getting upset won't speed things up. Use the time to reflect, observe, or even appreciate the moment's stillness. Viewing minor troubles as neutral or even opportunities to practice patience can drastically reduce their impact on your peace of mind. Perspective is key here. Imagine you're rushing to catch a bus and miss it by seconds. While this can feel like a disaster in the moment, it's ultimately a small event in the grand scheme of life. A missed bus doesn't define your day. Your reaction to it does. The Stoics teach us to zoom out, to see our lives as a whole rather than fixating on fleeting frustrations. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? More often than not, the answer is no. By choosing not to magnify minor troubles, you preserve your energy for what truly matters. Responding with grace not only reduces stress, but also strengthens your ability to handle larger challenges. Each time you let a small annoyance pass without overreacting, you build resilience and fortify your inner calm. This practice doesn't mean ignoring problems altogether. If a minor issue requires action, take it calmly and efficiently, but avoid giving it more mental weight than it deserves. For example, if a flat tire delays your commute, address the problem without spiraling into anger or self-pity. The situation may be inconvenient, but it doesn't have to ruin your day. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions and responses, while letting go of the rest. The more we practice this mindset, the less power life's small inconveniences have over us. Over time, this perspective becomes second nature, allowing us to navigate daily challenges with patience and grace. Ask yourself, am I letting something minor disrupt my peace? By keeping small things small, you free yourself to focus on what truly matters, cultivating a life that is both calmer and more fulfilling. 9. Focus on the process, not the outcome. True fulfillment is not found in reaching a specific goal or outcome, but in how we engage with the process of getting there. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our efforts, the actions we take, and the values we uphold, rather than obsessing over results we cannot fully control. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "Do what you must and let happen what will." This perspective frees us from the anxiety of chasing perfection and allows us to find joy in the journey itself. When we fixate on outcomes, We tether our happiness to uncertain and often uncontrollable events. Success, recognition, or external validation may not always materialize as we hope. This fixation leads to frustration, disappointment, or even a sense of failure. Stoicism invites us to ask a different question. Am I doing my best with what is within my control? By focusing on the process, acting with diligence, integrity, and patience, we reclaim the power to find satisfaction in our efforts, regardless of the results. Imagine a student preparing for an important exam. If their happiness depends entirely on achieving a perfect score, they might feel immense pressure and anxiety, which could detract from their focus and well-being. However, if they prioritize the process, studying consistently, practicing discipline, and learning with curiosity, they can take pride in their effort, knowing they did everything within their power. Whatever the result, the experience becomes meaningful. This principle also applies to personal and professional goals. Consider a business venture. While you may hope for financial success, focusing solely on profits can blind you to the value of building relationships, learning from challenges, and refining your craft. By immersing yourself in the day-to-day actions, problem-solving, creating value, and staying committed, you ensure that your journey is fulfilling, even if the outcome is uncertain. Focusing on the process doesn't mean ignoring goals altogether. Rather, it shifts your mindset to view goals as guides, not determinants of your worth. The beauty of this approach is its resilience. Setbacks and failures become lessons, not defeats, because the journey itself holds value. If a plan doesn't succeed, you can still walk away knowing you acted with integrity and gave your best. Stoicism encourages us to align our actions with our values. Ask yourself, am I approaching this with patience, effort, and care? When you focus on the quality of your actions, you find purpose and pride in the present moment. Each step becomes an opportunity to grow, rather than a means to an end. By shifting our focus to the process, we cultivate a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. We learn to enjoy the act of striving, to find meaning in small victories, and to navigate challenges with grace. The process becomes its own reward, and the outcome, whatever it may be, becomes secondary. As you move forward, consider how this principle can transform your perspective, whether in relationships, work, or personal growth. Let the quality of your efforts define your success, not the outcome. By embracing this mindset, you build a life rooted in purpose, resilience, and joy. 10. Let rationality lead over emotion. Emotions are an essential part of being human. They bring color to our experiences and connect us to others. However, they can also cloud our judgment, leading to impulsive decisions and actions that we later regret. Stoicism doesn't ask us to suppress or deny our emotions, but instead teaches us to acknowledge them while allowing reason to guide our choices. By letting rationality lead, we cultivate clarity and wisdom, ensuring our actions align with our values and long-term goals. Marcus Aurelius, a master of Stoic philosophy, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When we let emotions like anger, fear, or frustration dominate, our thoughts become reactive and distorted. Rationality, on the other hand, offers a steady compass, helping us respond to challenges with composure and intention rather than being swept away by fleeting feelings. Imagine a situation where someone criticizes you unfairly. The immediate emotional response might be defensiveness or anger, urging you to lash out. But Stoicism invites you to pause and reflect. Is this criticism valid? Is there something to learn here? How can I respond in a way that reflects my character? By letting reason take the lead, you diffuse the emotional charge of the moment, ensuring your actions contribute to growth rather than conflict. Rationality doesn't mean dismissing emotions as irrelevant. Instead, it involves recognizing them for what they are: temporary states that can inform but shouldn't control us. Emotions like anger can highlight an injustice. Fear can signal caution, and sadness can point to loss, when acknowledged without overindulgence. These emotions provide valuable insight while allowing reason to determine the best course of action. Consider how rationality helps in navigating stress or uncertainty. A missed deadline or unexpected setback might provoke panic or frustration, leading to rash decisions. But by stepping back and assessing the situation calmly, you can ask, what is within my control? What steps can I take to address this? Rational thinking transforms chaos into manageable actions, reducing stress and restoring balance. Practicing rationality requires mindfulness and self-awareness. When emotions arise, pause and take a moment to breathe. This simple act creates space for reflection, giving you the clarity to choose a response rooted in reason. Over time, this habit strengthens your ability to navigate even the most challenging situations with confidence and poise. Letting rationality lead also fosters better relationships. Emotional reactions often escalate conflicts, while a reasoned approach encourages understanding and resolution. Imagine a disagreement with a friend or partner. Instead of reacting with frustration, you might calmly express your perspective and listen to theirs, creating space for meaningful dialogue and mutual respect. Ultimately, choosing rationality over emotion empowers you to live with greater intention. You become less reactive and more proactive, directing your energy toward actions that align with your principles and aspirations. Life's challenges no longer feel overwhelming because you approach them with the clarity and steadiness of a rational mind. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I let reason guide my responses? By practicing this principle, you cultivate inner strength and resilience, ensuring that your decisions reflect your best self, not momentary impulses. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, a life led by reason, illuminated by clarity, and anchored in peace. Imagine a life of unshakable calm. By embracing these 10 principles, we transform the way we approach challenges and relationships. Life becomes an opportunity for growth, filled with resilience, wisdom, and peace. Reflect on these questions. Which of these principles resonates with you the most? How will you incorporate Stoicism into your daily life to cultivate inner calm? We'd love to hear your reflections in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe for more insights, and share these timeless lessons with those who might benefit. May you continue to grow in wisdom, strength, and peace. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.